Hey everybody, it's Kyle here. Welcome back to another video. In this week's video, I want to do two things. The first thing is talk about a quick fitness update, and the second is to talk to you about living with CP and finding my purpose. But first, let's touch on the fitness update, and that is that today, Monday, because this is going up tomorrow, that I competed my first race. It was only a mile race. But you know what? This was the first race that I could compete in and post my own results that I actually completed it. As some of you may or may not remember, I tried to do a 5K, which is 3.11 miles, back in March, and I only did about a mile, which is the same I did today. But the big difference is in how well I finished today's mile. Back in March, I finished a mile and I was like drained. Like I sat with my Gatorade and was just sweating to death and breathing really heavy and, trying to cheer on my friends that were still doing the 5K, but it was really hard. And today I don't really remember the time that I walked my 1 mile back in March, but today I walked it in 24 and a half minutes, which I thought was really good. And there was a couple of pauses for people on lawnmowers mowing their lawn, and some like tree branches that were getting in my way. But 24 and a half minutes to me is like fantastic to me, and I could just feel a difference in how well I had finished. I wasn't nearly as out of breath. I was still sweating, but I physically didn't feel exhausted. The last little bit was when it started to get a little bit rough. But overall, it was pretty smooth for my first actual race. Could I improve? Oh, definitely. But the personal growth I feel in just from March to now in doing a mile is yes, it's so great to see some tangible improvement, and it just proves to me that I will continue to work at it and continue to grow at it and eventually do a 5K. It's still on the horizon, but I realize it's not as close as I once thought it would be once I got my treadmill. I'm still walking on it regularly, but just building up the right stamina is a lot tougher than I thought it would be. But it's worth it. So on to the next race, which I have no idea when that will be, but I know that I can complete one. So stay tuned for an update on that. But also, in this week's video, I want to talk about the idea of living with CP and finding my purpose. And I truly, deep down, believe that advocacy work in some fashion is my purpose because it brings me such inner peace and inner joy. And it's such a heartwarming, fulfilling feeling when I make these videos and I hear and see and read people's comments about my videos and how it impacted them in this way or that way, and just being able to talk to everybody and share my story. It brings I know that's what I'm supposed to be doing in some way. I'm just gonna keep grinding at it, but I wanted to bring this up because I think retrospectively looking back, that the reason I struggled with dealing with living with a disability as a young kid and teenager was I really didn't know what my purpose in life was. I had cerebral palsy, and I want to make a video about this too, but cerebral palsy can be very mentally draining and impact your mental health, and I really didn't know why me? That was what I would say to me, why me? And then, I started to believe that, I was given cerebral palsy for a particular reason, and that is kind of what originally started to help me cope with being disabled, was just believing in my whole heart that, I had cerebral palsy for some reason, and it was going, I was going to do something good with it because I was given it, and the experience that it has given me in my life experiences. And, I think I found it, and that is this, or advocacy work, whether it be through my YouTube channel, my radio show, my blog, my podcast. I did have a podcast. I kind of took a break from that, but just being a part of the community has really shown me that I think advocacy work is my particular purpose, because it fills my soul so much. It's hard, though, when you question, even though I feel this so deeply that this is what I should be doing, it is hard, as someone with a disability who isn't working and isn't making money off this advocacy work, to question, well, should I be doing this, or should I be out there actively looking for a job that is going to pay bills? And that's kind of the dilemma that I'm in. And I don't want to say that I'm not looking, because I am looking for a job. It's just been very hard during these times, and where I'm living, and just kind of my situation with not really being able to drive right now. Those aren't excuses. I am looking, but it's my scope of jobs isn't as wide as some others, but still looking. But then I wonder, am I not looking hard enough? Should I just jump into any type of job as long as I can physically do it? And I'm going to do advocacy work regardless of whether I'm making money or not, because this brings me so much joy. I'm going to do it until it stops bringing me joy, and whether or not that means that somehow I find a job in advocacy work, or find another job and I, have to split my time more heavily, because right now, I'm all about my advocacy work while I am looking for a job. So I'm not going to stop whether or not I get a typical 9-to-5 job or not. So, but I just know, and I hate to sound, I don't know, like, he's not making any money, because I know this is what I'm supposed to do in some capacity. It's just whether or not, how, can I sustain myself by doing this, or, there's pressure because people around me have other jobs, and it's just am I falling behind? But you know what? I'm going to keep pushing with this, because I'm happy doing it, and, I will figure it all out, but I truly believe that this is part of my purpose, to do this, to share my story and be honest with you about what I'm feeling and what it's like for me to live with CP. And I wanted to share my thoughts about advocacy and career, because it's just been weighing heavily, even though I feel like this is my purpose. It has been weighing on me, should I should I cut back a little bit and jump head first into finding a job, even though I look and I look, but it's am I not trying hard enough? That's the nagging thought that pops into my head. You're just not trying hard enough. But then I know that I am, and I know I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do the best that I can. But I know I wanted to share that part because that's real, and I know I can't be the only one that feels that way. But finding a job that fits me and what I'm can do and want to do. And that's the hard part, because what I want to do is this. So it's just like fending off the pressure of like, you need to have a 9-to-5 job is kind of hard sometimes. But we're going to keep grinding at this, and I'm going to keep sharing my story, and I hope you're enjoying my story, and I hope this didn't sound very whiny and complaining, because that's not what I wanted it to be. But I hope you enjoyed, and if you've had similar thoughts like me of what you should really be doing with your life, let's talk about it in the comments below, wherever you find this. And I will see you next time. Be sure, if you liked it, to subscribe. I post a video every Tuesday, and I will see you next time.